Hey friend, have you been celebrating a lot this summer? And by celebrating, I mean drinking. Celebrating is synonymous with summer. From commemorating summer holidays like Memorial Day, the 4th of July, Father's Day, Labor Day weekend, to celebrating kids graduating from high school and college, to weddings, vacations, and so much more. Many of us have been in party mode for the last 3 months. And there's nothing wrong with that. Unless all of that celebrating has taken a toll on your hormones. Today, I'm continuing my Hot Flash Summer podcast series on how to beat the heat and keep your hormones in check so you can live your best hot girl summer. In the hot seat today, summer drinking. And in particular, how alcohol can affect and even exacerbate a hormonal imbalance. If you're feeling more bloated or dizzy or tired or emotional lately, or if you're suddenly living in PMS hell, this episode is for you. So grab yourself a quick potty break and beeline it back because I'm breaking it all down in less than 90 seconds. Welcome to Are You There Midlife? It's me, Monica. Hi, I'm Monica Topetti, wife, mom, health coach, and hormone imbalance survivor. And I'm on a mission to help women in midlife balance hormones naturally without drugs, doctors, or divorce. Are you tired of dealing with heavy, painful periods that look like a crime scene? Are you sick of struggling with anxiety, fatigue, or brain fog that... What was I just saying? Are you frustrated doing all the things to lose weight but still packing on pounds faster than a real housewife changes Birkins? Girl, you are in the right place. Join me each week as I spill the tea on what to expect in perimenopause and beyond. From IBS to insomnia, bloating to funky body odor, I'll unpack all the weird stuff happening inside our midlife bodies, plus give you the latest science and holistic solutions to manage it all. So ditch the Spanx and hop on board the Hot Mess Express. Let's do this. Hey, beautiful. Welcome back to the show. So as I mentioned before the intro, today's episode is all about drinking, especially drinking in the summer, and how it can affect our hormonal health. Alcohol can affect our hormones any time of year. It's true. But when we combine the heat and humidity of the summer, along with the frequency in which we're drinking, it can really kick our perimenopausal and menopausal symptoms into overdrive. Why? Because alcohol dehydrates us, despite how refreshing it may seem at the time. Those ice-cold beers inner tubing on the lake, that frozen margarita by relaxing by the pool, even that harmless glass of rosé brunching with your friends can all contribute to dehydration, and that can lead to an increase in cortisol, ghrelin, and insulin resistance, or a decrease in estrogen and testosterone that can wreak havoc on our health and even our summer plans. So, grab yourself a mocktail and join me as we stir the tea on 8 signs alcohol is impacting your perimenopause and menopause symptoms. The first sign summer drinking is impacting your hormones is an increase in vasomotor symptoms like hot flashes, night sweats, headaches, migraines, or even dizziness. Alcohol is a vasodilator. That means that when a certain level of alcohol is present in our body, our blood vessels will dilate or widen. And that causes a sensation of increased body temperature that can result in hot flashes or night sweats. As the amount of alcohol in our body increases, this effect is then reversed. Alcohol increases norepinephrine, also known as noradrenaline, a neurotransmitter in the brain that plays a role in stress reactions. When norepinephrine becomes elevated, it constricts our blood vessels, setting off a chain of vasomotor symptoms that can include headaches, migraines, and dizziness. Now, I took a deep dive into hot flashes and night sweats, along with some fast fixes, in episode 23 of my Hot Flash Summer series. So I'll make sure to include that and link it in today's show notes. The second sign summer drinking may be impacting your hormones is an increase in vaginal dryness and changes in your vaginal flora, including frequent urinary tract infections. Now, as I mentioned earlier, alcohol is a diuretic, and this can lead to dehydration that you can experience throughout your body, including your skin. Dehydration mixed with fluctuating estrogen and testosterone can lead to vaginal dryness, especially in menopause, or increased facial or even cystic acne in perimenopause. In addition, because alcohol is a diuretic, it increases our urine output, and that can potentially flush out beneficial bacteria in our urinary tract. This, in turn, disrupts the natural balance of bacteria in the vagina and makes it easier to get an infection. Lastly, alcohol weakens our immune system, and that makes it harder for our body to fight off bacteria as well as colds or the flu. The third sign summer drinking may be impacting your hormones is perpetual PMS, which includes irritability, painful breasts, and even allergy-like symptoms. Whenever we drink alcohol, our liver has to take a step back from its other jobs to prioritize metabolizing it out of our system. This means our liver has a harder time working to get rid of all of the excess circulating hormones, like estrogen, properly. This can result in an imbalance of estrogen to progesterone and symptoms of estrogen dominance. Those include irregular periods, breast tenderness, and other PMS symptoms. Women in perimenopause with uterine fibroids or endometriosis are particularly at risk. The fourth sign that summer drinking is impacting your hormones is low libido. Wah, wah. Yes, despite alcohol's initial effect of lowering our inhibitions, alcohol can actually diminish our libido in a few ways. First, it lowers our testosterone. So what happens is alcohol actually increases the levels of an enzyme in our body that breaks testosterone down. And testosterone is the hormone that's largely responsible for sex drive in both women and men. Second, alcohol can decrease and increase cortisol, suppressing adrenal gland function, which naturally depresses our sex drive. This occurs as a result of our body's natural response to protect itself from pregnancy and reproduction during periods of perceived stress. Wow. Talk about birth control from Mother Nature. Third, as we've just discussed, alcohol can cause vaginal dryness, resulting in painful intercourse. That's a libido killer. And lastly, alcohol influences our brain and nervous system functions. Did you know that our brain is actually our primary sex organ? Yep. As a result, alcohol can diminish our nerve sensitivity and function, reduce blood flow to the genitals, and that goes for you and your partners, ladies, and even impact our ability to get aroused. If you've ever gone away on a summer vacay with your husband and have had like no sex or bad sex, you know what I'm talking about. You can't see me, but I'm raising my hand over here. I know, TMI. Okay, so far we have hot flashes and night sweats, vaginal dryness and UTIs, perpetual PMS, and low libido. I'll be back in just a minute to share the rest of the signs that alcohol may be messing with your hormones. But first, are you tired of being dismissed by your doctor or told your hormonal symptoms are just part of getting older? Ugh. Are you frustrated by blood tests that keep coming back normal, even though you feel anything but? Are you ready to put an end to frustrating symptoms and finally feel like you again? Then click the link in the show notes and take my free hormone quiz. Developed by 3 functional medicine doctors, this self-assessment uses hormone symptom profiling to evaluate your age, menstrual cycle, and symptoms for 7 of the most common hormonal imbalances in perimenopause through postmenopause. Ladies, this quiz is quick, it's easy, and it's scary accurate. And best of all, it's going to give you the clarity you need to finally understand which of your hormones are out of whack so you can begin to balance them naturally. If you are tired of playing whack-a-mole with your symptoms and are ready to find out the root cause once and for all, click the link in the show notes and take my free quiz after the episode. Okay, back to the signs. I saw the sign. Okay, the 5th sign that summer drinking is impacting your hormones is problems sleeping. And that includes difficulty falling or staying asleep. It's true, a glass of wine or alcohol really can have a relaxing effect. But if you think drinking more or drinking late at night is going to help you sleep better, think again, especially during the summer. Sleep can be especially difficult during the heat of the summer months. Now, I took a deep dive into sleep issues like insomnia and waking frequently in episode 26 of my Hot Flash Summer series. I'll go ahead and link that episode in today's show notes as well. As I mentioned earlier, alcohol depresses the function of our adrenal glands, and this can cause evening spikes of energy that can make it difficult to fall asleep. But drinking too much alcohol or drinking at night can have a negative impact in our sleep quality in 2 ways. First, alcohol impacts our sleep cycle by forcing our body to go straight into deep sleep. We completely bypass the natural first stage of sleep, which is known as REM or rapid eye movement. This is where you get all those wild dreams. That's our natural first stage. So what happens is we go right into deep sleep, and then once the alcohol starts to wear off, our body is thrown into REM. Now, REM is a much easier sleep stage to wake from. So this results in poorer quality sleep as well as more frequent bouts of awakening throughout the night. The second way that alcohol impacts our sleep is since alcohol is a diuretic, drinking it before bedtime can also cause us to wake up several times throughout the night to use the bathroom, further disrupting our sleep. Been there, done that, not fun. Very tired the next morning. Women with estrogen dominance can actually be particularly impacted by alcohol's effects on sleep, since free-floating estrogens increase with alcohol. This creates an imbalance in the ratio of estrogen to progesterone, and that's the hormone that helps you feel calm and fall asleep. The 6th sign that summer drinking may be impacting your hormones is feelings of depression, mood swings, or increased anxiety. Anxiety and depression are common symptoms of a hormonal imbalance in perimenopause and menopause. While a drink or two may provide a temporary mood boost due to the extra GABA production in our brain and the blocking of glutamate, which is a chemical that promotes anxiety, the more we drink, the more the balance of neurotransmitters in our brain are affected. And this results in mood swings. This is even further exacerbated by increased levels of cortisol, which over time can make us feel stressed and moody. Alcohol also impacts the serotonin levels in our brain. Serotonin is that happy chemical that regulates mood. I talked all about serotonin and seasonal affective disorder in the summer in episode 27 of my Hot Flash Summer series. I'll be sure to link that episode also in today's show notes. Suffice it to say, when our serotonin levels are low, that can lead to depression, as well as changes in our sexual desire. The seventh sign that summer drinking is impacting your hormones is fatigue. Alcohol negatively impacts the production and balance of nearly every hormone responsible for perimenopausal or menopausal symptoms. First, alcohol disrupts the timing and levels of estrogen secretion, which can cause short-term fluctuations and cause fatigue. Second, as I've mentioned, alcohol can affect our body's production of cortisol. That's the hormone that triggers a fight or flight response in our body, and that causes multiple symptoms of impaired cortisol function, which includes fatigue. Third, as I've also shared, alcohol can lower testosterone levels. This can cause tiredness, feelings of general malaise, and of course, a decreased sex drive. And lastly, alcohol can alter the levels of thyroid hormones in our body. That includes TSH, T4, and T3. Low levels of thyroid hormones are also known as hypothyroidism, and one of the telltale signs of hypothyroidism is low energy or fatigue. And the eighth sign that summer drinking is impacting your hormones is blood sugar spikes, slower metabolism, or weight gain. If you've noticed you've put on some pounds this summer, or you can't seem to lose weight no matter how well you've eaten or how much you've exercised, alcohol may be to blame, especially if you drink regularly or in excess. Alcohol can affect our weight by raising blood sugar levels, slowing down our metabolism, and increasing the amount of food we eat. First, alcohol interferes with our body's production of insulin. That's the hormone that controls the amount of glucose in our blood. Drinking alcohol actually increases the presence of glucose, and that's what causes our blood sugar levels to become elevated. That, in turn, spikes our hunger and puts our body into fat storage mode. Secondly, when we drink alcohol, our body burns the alcohol preferentially. What does that mean? What that means is it stops burning any previously stored fat in our body until all of the alcohol is metabolized. So our metabolism from other calories significantly slows down, as much as 70%. Third, when we drink, our brain releases another feel-good chemical, dopamine. The more alcohol, the more dopamine. It's the dopamine in our body that actually causes us to lose our inhibitions, rational thinking, and willpower. And even though that feels good for a while, that can actually make us more susceptible to making poor food choices, ignoring portion sizes, or even saying yes to more food, though we've eaten more than enough. So, there you go. 8 signs that your summer celebrating may be affecting your hormones, or contributing to a hormonal imbalance in perimenopause or menopause. What do we do? Next week, I'm going to unpack part 2 of this episode, and I'm going to share with you 8 tips to help minimize alcohol's impact on your hormones. If you plan on drinking at all the rest of this summer, you definitely don't want to miss this episode. Until then, hashtag summer cocktails, hashtag sober curious, hashtag hot flash summer. Hey friend, can I call you friend? Because I already feel like we're friends in my head. Did this podcast teach you something, make you laugh, or feel less like an alien? If so, I would be so incredibly grateful if you could take just 60 seconds to rate, review, and subscribe. That is the number one way you can thank me and support the show. Until next week, stay cool and keep away from sharp objects.